Diamonds have been the objects of mystery and romanticism for centuries. People are mesmerized by the sparkling facets of these gems. However, what lies under the surface of the current diamond market? Could it even be that the current high value of diamonds is a mere illusion, propagated by those who could profit from it? A diamond consists of carbon atoms bonded tetrahedrally. This structure is what gives diamonds their characteristic properties, the most immediately obvious being their beauty, which is a large part of a diamond's value. Diamonds are judged based on coloration, size, imperfections, and cut. A diamond's size is the property which first comes to mind. However, it is only a part of determining a diamond's value. Clarity, or the absence of imperfections, is another important factor. The color of a diamond, too, can affect its value. Finally, the cut of a diamond plays an important role in the final appearance of a diamond. Diamonds are usually quite dull in uncut form as they come out of the ground, and only acquire their crystalline nature upon cutting. Deep beneath the earth, enormous heat and pressure allow diamonds to form. At these depths, rock will occasionally liquefy, becoming magma. It then flows up, carrying any diamonds it encounters with it. When the magma reaches the surface, it erupts in a volcano, scattering diamonds over the earth while others remain in the magma that remains underground. The diamonds on the surface are then later scattered further by natural conditions, while the magma still in the earth solidifies into a kimberlite pipe, which may later be the location of a mine. The diamonds on the ground may simply be collected by hand. Prior to the 19th century, diamonds were known of, but they were known as a possession of royalty and nobility. At that time, diamond mining was not developed, and diamonds were collected from the surface of the ground in India and later Brazil. This method in these regions, though, did not produce more than a few pounds of diamonds a year, and so diamonds remained extremely valuable for a long time. However, in the late 19th century, just as diamonds in Brazil and India began to run out, new mines were discovered in South Africa. At first, they were not taken seriously, but in 1870 a diamond rush started, and people flocked in great numbers to the Orange River area and began looking for diamonds around the river. Then, in 1871, a new site was discovered at the De Beer Brothers farm and was quickly bought out by miners. The miners split up the diamond-rich areas, which were the tops of diamond pipes, into claims. The hill at which diamonds had been first found turned into the Big Hole after digging commenced. A new town, Kimberley, was established on the spot. At first, diamonds were being pumped out quickly, but soon, the individual miners could no longer remain productive due to lack of machinery. Also, the large amount of diamonds being produced and sold reduced the value of the diamonds. Businessmen began to see that total control over the mines would be extremely profitable. Two men, Cecil Rhodes and Barney Bernardo, then competed to take over the consolidation of the mining at Kimberley. In 1880, Rhodes formed the De Beers Company, and with £2.5 million in financing from a Paris bank, began to buy up small claims to establish a large-scale mining operation. Bernardo also obtained financing and began buying up claims. The competition heated up, but Rhodes eventually simply bought out all outstanding stock in Bernardo's company, and the two agreed to a merger once Rhodes had gotten control. By 1888, the De Beers Company under Rhodes had control of 90% of the world's diamonds. Rhodes then limited the production of diamonds, selling only to a group of men in London called the Syndicate, and stockpiling the majority of produced diamonds. This made diamond prices shoot up. In 1902, De Beers was challenged for the first time, when the premier mine opened near Johannesburg and began producing about as many diamonds as all of De Beers. Insult was added to injury when the Cullinan diamond, the largest ever gem diamond, was found at Premier. With the massive increase of diamond supply, De Beers had to reduce its production of diamonds to keep demand and prices up until it absorbed Premier in 1914. Some years later, after Rhodes' death, the board which ran De Beers faced a challenge: Ernest Oppenheimer, one of the men who had been behind the Premier mine. He established a mine in Namibia and formed a company, Anglo-American, which challenged the monopoly De Beers had worked so hard to establish. Through economic domination, Oppenheimer took over De Beers in 1929, and the Oppenheimers have been at the head of De Beers since. During the Great Depression, the market for diamonds in Europe effectively disappeared, leaving only America for De Beers to sell to. De Beers was not satisfied with the low sales, though, and hired the NWA, or advertising agency, to expand the American market. The advertisements ran in all forms of media, and De Beers even got Hollywood stars in the British royal family to wear diamonds, as well as glorifying diamonds in movies and elsewhere. The strong pressure from advertising and fashion icons led to a huge market forming in America, with diamond engagement rings becoming practically mandatory for young men starting families, a large market base. Unlike other such trends, though, the omnipresence of the diamond appeared not through tradition, but through manipulation of minds. After the American market was established, De Beers attempted to duplicate the success in America by launching an advertising campaign in Japan in the 1960s. This proved enormously successful, creating a false tradition of diamond engagement rings out of thin air. Along with controlling demand, De Beers needed to control supply of diamonds to extract maximum profit. With his monopoly on diamond supply, De Beers established a system for distributing diamonds while maintaining control of the market. 10 times a year, the most favored diamond merchants would be invited to a site at the De Beers headquarters. Before the site, De Beers would choose certain diamonds to release onto the market to maintain the balance of supply and demand. These diamonds would then be offered to selected merchants, who would have the choice of buying all of the diamonds offered to them or not buying any and being excluded from future sites. Merchants would also be excluded from sites if they did business in a way that undermined De Beers' control, like buying diamonds from entities other than De Beers. Being excluded from sites would mean ruination for diamond merchants. In this way, De Beers maintained a chokehold on the world diamond market, and on its own subsidiaries. The problem with the De Beers distribution system is that it only works when De Beers has a total monopoly over diamonds. This means that to control the diamond market, De Beers has to completely stifle competition, to avoid a massive increase in supply and a resulting massive decrease in price. One way De Beers eliminated competition is simply by buying it out. In remote areas where diamonds could be picked up from the ground, De Beers would send agents to buy diamonds locals had gathered to maintain control of the market. Small mine owners in various places would be bought out as well as larger enterprises. When new diamond mines opened in Siberia in the 60s, De Beers negotiated a deal with the Soviet Union to buy out all of the production. Sometimes, individuals would not sell out to De Beers and would try to establish their own independent mines. In the 1960s, Sammy Collins established a mine on the Namibian coast which proved to be quite productive. However, De Beers saw it as a threat and warned diamond merchants that they would be excluded from the sites if they bought diamonds from Collins. Collins soon went bankrupt. These means of eliminating competition usually worked. However, sometimes more pressure was needed. In 1906, diamonds were discovered in Murfreesboro, Arkansas. At the time, De Beers did not have a diamond monopoly, so the mine was seen as a potential threat. Sam Rayburn, an investor, developed part of the fields into a mine, with the aid of John Fuller, a former De Beers technical expert. However, the mining equipment never worked properly, even though Fuller had had plenty of success in making equipment work for De Beers. In 1912, Fuller resigned. Rayburn then closed the mine, and was immediately hired for a highly lucrative job associated with De Beers. The only other Arkansas mine burned down twice under mysterious circumstances before its owner also closed it and also started a new career in a high post of a business closely connected with De Beers. Now, tourists pay admission to pick through the Murfreesboro dirt in search of a lucky find. The final competition De Beers had to fight was resale. Used diamonds could potentially be sold, depressing prices by increasing supply. To combat this, De Beers advertised diamonds in such a way that would create strong emotional attachment to the stones, precluding most people from reselling diamonds. To thin the ranks of resellers further still, De Beers coerced dealers into only buying back diamonds at prices that would result in massive losses for would-be resellers, further discouraging resale. This policy also worked to eliminate the use of diamonds as an investment. Although the market share of De Beers has decreased in recent years, it is still the dominant force in diamonds. The triumph of the monopolizing and advertising power of De Beers has led to the huge wealth of the men behind it. However, this is at the expense of the common people. By convincing people that diamonds are a necessity of life, De Beers takes money out of their pockets and widens the rich-poor gap. This is exacerbated by the monopolistic price-fixing practices and elimination of competition De Beers uses to keep diamond prices artificially high. By using its near-total international monopoly to exert total control over the market for diamonds and exponentially inflating scarcity and demand, De Beers quietly extracts money from the masses by essentially selling near-worthless rocks. Should De Beers' manipulation of diamonds be stripped away, all that would remain would be small shiny pebbles.